Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jessica McDonald and I design knitting patterns. Today I'm going to walk you through the construction of the sweater that I have on. This is Autumn Snowfall. It is a top-down seamless drop shoulder construction. I have not seen like an official name for this construction method, so we're just going to call it a top-down seamless drop shoulder and we're going to go with that. This construction method lets you have a really nicely shaped drop shoulder. You have really nice shaping in the shoulder, but you don't have to do any short rows. So there's nothing really finicky or confusing when you're working the shoulders. You're just working normal increases when you're doing the shoulder. There's also a lot of benefits to knitting top down. You can adjust the length of the body to your liking. You can adjust the length of the armhole even if you really wanted to, and you can easily adjust the length of the sleeve because everything is knit from the top down. So those kind of length modifications are really incredibly easy. I'm filming this video so that you can watch through it and you can see it ahead of time so you can see what you're getting yourself into. And also if you're knitting this pattern and you run into a point where you're stuck and you're not quite sure what the pattern means, you can refer back to this video and hopefully you can get your questions answered. Your answers question. So I'm going to turn around the camera and I'm going to show you exactly how this sweater is made. Here is Autumn Snowfall laid on its front. So this is the back of the sweater here, and this is where we begin. So if you have your pattern already and you have it printed sitting next to you, you'll be able to follow along with me. So you begin at the back yoke with larger needles and using the cable cast on. Now, quick note, don't use a different cast on. If I tell you to use a certain cast on in one of my patterns, make sure you use that cast on method. You need to use the cable cast on so your back neck doesn't stretch out and this sweater falls off your shoulders. So you're going to use the cable cast on and you're going to cast on right here. This is the top of your back. Now I've already picked up the, it's all finished, so there's a neckline here and everything, but this is where you start on, right here. You're cast on right here. Then you're going to work one row just to set up. And then you have rows 2 and 3 where you increase on each row. So you increase on row 2, which is on the right side, and you increase on row 3, which is the wrong side. And that is this section here. This is rows 2 and 3, out to this point out here. This whole section here, this is rows 2 and 3. This is your shoulder shaping. You're working increases to form this line here. So working rows 2 and 3 gets you out to here. Now it says continue working flat and stockinette without increasing. That's this section here. So you're here, you stop increasing, and you just knit back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until you have reached the correct depth. There is a measurement listed here. It says until back yoke measures so many inches or so many centimeters, measured from the outside point of the shoulder, in italics, the armhole side. This is over here. So this is the outside point of the shoulder. This is the outside point, this is the outside point. You can measure either side. I'm gonna just show you on one side so I can center this. So this is your outside point of the shoulder, and this is down along the armhole side. You're gonna measure here, from this point where this finger is, from the point where that finger is, down to the bottom of your piece of knitting. So this is the arm over here. This is the armhole side. This is the depth you measure. You don't measure from your cast on edge down. You measure from out here, the very outside where you finish the increases, straight down here. That's where you measure how deep you knit your back to. Now you put your back stitches on hold. You can put them on waste yarn or another pair of needles or barber cords or whatever. You put it on hold and you are going to move now to your shoulder. Work left, in parentheses, as worn, shoulder. So when you're looking at this back of the sweater, your left shoulder is going to be the one that's on your left shoulder when you're wearing the sweater. So if I pick this sweater up and hold it up to my body, this is the left side. This is the left shoulder here. So we're going to pick up and knit so many stitches along the left shoulder. So this line from where your cast on edge started, this whole sloped line, that is your shoulder. So you pick up stitches there. There are enough stitches that you pick up that you leave behind these 2 stitches that form this really distinctive line here. So you pick up your stitches along here. Then you're gonna knit in stockinette for 3 inches. So that is, this is a little bit awkward. That is this section here. So you're just gonna knit flat, knit back and forth until you've knit 3 inches. And since you're knitting without increases or shaping, you just knit 3 inches, doesn't matter where you measure it. Now we're gonna turn this around. This is the left shoulder, and you've knit 3 inches, and you're to this point right here. Now you're gonna begin working your neckline increases, and you're gonna work this neckline shaping that's right here. It's a total of 9 repeats of rows 4 and 5. So you've worked these increases here in rows 4 and 5, you've done your neckline shaping. As soon as you're done with the neckline shaping, you're gonna place the left shoulder stitches on hold, leave them on a needle, leave them on waste yarn. It doesn't matter what you put them on, just put them on hold for a minute. And you're gonna work the right shoulder right over here. So you're going to follow basically that exact same process that you just did with the left shoulder. So I'm gonna turn it around. Here's your right shoulder. You're gonna pick up the stitches along this shoulder slope. You're gonna knit your 3 inches straight, so down to about right here. You're gonna knit your 3 inches. I'm gonna turn this around. And then again, you're gonna work some neckline shaping. So these are rows 6 and 7 where you're working the neckline shaping on the right hand side. After you've finished all of your repeats of 6 and 7, which are, it's identical to the shaping on the left side, it's just worked on the opposite end so that you have it on the neckline side. Once you finish the neckline shaping on the right shoulder, now remember this is as worn, so our right and left are flip-flopped right now. So this is your right shoulder, and you've just finished the neckline increases here. Now you're going to join the front. So you work across the right shoulder, you cast on stitches right here for the bottom neck, and then you pick up your left shoulder and you work across your left shoulder stitches. Now you have this whole front section on your needle. Now you knit this front section, since you're right here where you just added your neckline stitches, you knit that flat until a certain length. Continue to work front and stockinette by knitting each right side row and purling each wrong side row until the front measures so many inches or so many centimeters, measured from the picked up edge down along the armhole, ending after a right side row. So what you're gonna do, like it doesn't wanna do this neatly right now because I've already got the sleeve on. You'll lay your front out so that here's the armhole edge on this side again, right? You're going to measure from where you picked up, which where you picked up is right here, and you're gonna measure straight down from there along the armhole. And this is not wanting to lay nicely because I've already got the sleeve in here. So you measure down from where you picked it up, right here. You measure straight down that edge, and that is where you measure the length to where you knit the front. Now, the front is going to be knit longer than the back. That is because, here's the back. Your back comes down to here and it only has to go a little bit. But your front that you picked up from right here has to come up your back a little bit, over the top of your shoulder, and then down your front. So the front piece is knit longer than the back piece. That's normal, don't worry about that measurement. Now we're gonna join it in the round. We've got the back done, we've got the front done. We're gonna join the whole thing in the round and we're going to knit the body. So you have your front stitches on your needles. You're gonna place your back stitches back on needles. And now you're over here. Your base, because after you've knit a right side row, you will be here, because we're knitting this way. You will be here. So you've knit across this, you cast on your underarm stitches immediately, then you knit across the back, and you cast on more underarm stitches in the other arm, and then You're placing your beginning of the round marker in the center of that underarm, the second underarm that you have cast on, and then you're back to the front where you started. And you just knit round and round and round like every other top-down sweater in the round that you knit in the round. You just knit until so many inches. This is where you modify your length for your sweater in this section here before you hit the color work at the hem. The color work needs to be at the very bottom, so if you want to add or subtract length, do it in this part here. So you're told to knit until it's 6 inches short of desired length. That's because this giant star takes up about 4 inches and then you have 2 inches of hem. So you knit until you come down here to 6 inches short of your desired length. Then you follow the color work chart. The color work chart is provided in 2 different color schemes, light on dark and dark on light, so follow whichever one you prefer. And then after you work the color work chart, you work the hem. So it's just like any other body on any other top-down sweater. Now, after we finish the hem, we're gonna come back and we're going to work the sleeves. So you have to pick up sleeves. This isn't like when you're knitting a top-down circular yoke and you've placed all of the sleeve stitches on hold. You have to pick up the sleeves. You can, all of the sleeves, all the way around. There are no live stitches on hold when you come to pick up the sleeves. So you start down here. I start here. It's gonna look like this because you're holding it like this. You have the right side facing you. Pick up the armhole to the top, down the armhole, and then you pick up the underarm stitches that you cast on when you joined the body in the round, and you place your beginning of the round marker in there. And then at this point, it's just like literally any other sleeve. The only difference is you're picking up stitches instead of putting live stitches back onto the needle. And then you work the decreases down to whatever length you want, or you can just follow the pattern if you don't want to modify the length. Then you knit the ribbing, do the same thing for the second sleeve, do the same thing for the second sleeve. Then we're gonna come and finish the neckline. So we're gonna start at the back neck. And since this is the back facing us, if I put this up to my body, this is the right shoulder, this is the left shoulder. So we're going to pick up, starting at the right-hand side of the back neck, and we pick up all the way around the neckline, and then we're going to work in ribbing for about 4.5 inches, and then you bind off very loosely knitwise, and then you sew down the neckline to the inside. And here it is finished. I have included in the pattern video tutorials for how to pick up stitches for the neckline and also how to sew down the neckline the way that I do it. So you can follow the links in the pattern to those tutorials. And then you just weave in the ends and wash and block. So here's the pretty star. And you can see that you have your drop shoulder, but you've got a nice shoulder slope here, and it is all made with these increases from when you began the back. And that's the most complicated part of the sweater. That wasn't too hard, was it? So that's how you put together Autumn Snowfall. If you need the pattern, go into the description box down below this video. I'll put in links to the pattern. The pattern is going to be released on August 20th of 2024. So if you are watching after that date, the link to the pattern will be there. I am having to upload this video a few days early before the pattern release so that I can include the link in the pattern. So if you are watching this before August 20th, 2024, sign up for my email newsletter. The link is also in the description box down below this video, and you will get an email as soon as the pattern is released. Thank you, and happy knitting!